watching the video.
No, moi, it's... Joinen, and welcome to the animated story where I spent $100,000 on fidget toys and started to sell them at school. How do you have $100,000 when you're at school? How does that even happen? How do you get yourself in that position?
Hello, everyone. My name is Josephine, and
Hello, everyone. Meet my story. Wanted me to do this thing, so I guess here I am. Here's my story.
I'm a huge fan of fidget toys, and I'm not the only one. I'd like to tell you all about it, but I'll start with a little story about myself and my family. All my life, I've lived in a small rural town.
This is such an animated story vibe. Yeah, so I spent $100,000 on fidget spinners. That is the important part of this this story. But I think we require some context. Yeah, so back when my parents were a fresh 18 years old, one lived in Nevada and the other Canada. But my dad, he decided to go on a road trip.
It's basically a village. Our town wasn't as modern as bigger cities. We even got the internet late, but I honestly can't say it was all that bad. Besides, my family's always been pretty well off because we had our own profitable farming business.
Farmers, just some classic working class farmers. So we start farming them fidget toys, right? Grow some fidget toys?
Yes, we had to work a lot out in the fields and constantly look after the livestock, but we earned a lot of money for all our hard work. Residents of big cities are very fond of natural and high-quality produce, so they were happy to buy them from us. Lately, though, I've started feeling really stressed out.
There's some real details there about the intricacies of their farming business. Somehow I don't feel it's that relevant, but maybe it will be. Maybe that will be the whole story. It'll be one of those things where this story's actually about farming, but you weren't gonna click that. What you will click is $100,000 being spent on fidget toys.
I started having trouble with my studies at school because I didn't understand the material. On top of that, the farm had
Fair enough, that material looked pretty intense.
problems with pests eating our entire crop. I started taking anti-anxiety medication, but it didn't help for very long. I couldn't...
That was such an awkward pause. Yeah, I started taking anti-anxiety medication, but it didn't help for very long. And then I spent $100,000 in fidget toys.
Didn't stop obsessing over my grades. I was sure they would keep me from getting into a good college. All my life, I tried to study and get high scores
You got an A+ for that? What was the test? Forging signatures?
on quizzes, tests, and homework, but now my grades were going down the drain. I was especially afraid that I would fail my exams, and then I wouldn't be able to move to the big city.
Ah, country girl with big city dreams. Classic. You could say she's just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Farming world. She's just farming. She wants good grades so she can end up in the big fuss. What do they call it? Something like that.
Countryside was fine and all, but there are more options in the city. But then I found a solution to my problem.
Lights on the walls. Contacting your presumed dead son that lives in the Upside Down with lights across the walls. Right? Right?
One day, I decided to sign up for TikTok. Yes, I only just discovered this social network at the age of 17. And yes, I only signed up because my classmates were always on there.
You don't need to justify yourself. I don't care how old you are. You download TikTok. Everybody does it at some point in their life, and I'm sick of pretending that they don't.
They always seemed so relaxed and distracted from all their problems. And
TikTok is what did it. That's what solved. It's the solution to your problem. Absolutely.
it was on TikTok that I saw this. Bloggers were playing with poppets, simple dimples, and other fidget toys.
Call them what? Simple dimples?
At first, I thought it was just nonsense. I mean, how would
Right there.
anyone get so
Simple. Wait, it's actually not that simple. It's kind of hard. You could do like a specific type of smile. It's not as simple as you think. As much as the name credits it otherwise. Dimples are a little bit of a complicated art. Simple dimple.
Carried away by something you just poked. But when I saw how much everyone seemed to like it, I decided to order a couple for myself. I had to at least give it a try.
I still haven't ever tried one, but I just can't imagine they're that great. I like a good fidget toy. I got plenty of spinners. I had a cube. I've got all of that. Would it not feel the same as like those silicon muffin trays, except on a smaller thing? Like,
Believe it or not, the poppet really made me feel relaxed and distracted me from all my problems.
well, that's cool. That's good.
As soon as I held it, I was caught up for the whole evening, poking my finger at the funny little bubbles.
A whole evening?
I even brought a poppet to school and continued to play with it while taking an exam.
Nah. Bad news. You do it. Couple other kids do it. All the kids start doing it. Banned. I bet you, like, more than 50% of schools around the world have puppets banned at the moment, right? That has to be. Schools just ban anything that kids like. If a lot of kids like it, it's banned. Yep. They wouldn't allow it. Pretty much. I guess I've never really thought about it. Why do stuff like that get banned? I guess it's because it's like distracting kids like during class and stuff. But surely that should mean it's banned during class. I think maybe stuff like that gets banned because of all the antics. Teachers just know that as things get popular, war breaks out. There's kids stealing each other's poppets, doing underhanded deals. The year that slime and fidget spinners were banned was special. I remember like Tazos being banned, and you know, obviously like Pokemon cards and Beyblades, Tamagotchis, Digimons, boomer alert. Nah, yeah, I also remember sticks and stones being banned. Or those little things that you go like this and you get the ring rolling around. Those were real popular. Marbles?
It's good that the teacher didn't mind. And I got a good grade on the exam. I couldn't even believe that I finally did well, and all because I was able to relax. The tangled mess of algebra suddenly became clear to me, all thanks to my fidget toy.
Jeez, these poppets seem real potent. They like make you good at maths?
I decided not to stop at just one poppet and ordered some other toys. I searched the internet and bought everything I found. I even found a poppet in the shape of Thanos' hand.
Yep. Cool. But can you put your whole hand on it and then go and push the whole thing down? That'd be kind of cool.
The Infinity Gauntlet was not only covered in bubbles, but also glowed and made cool sounds. It was a rare and expensive specimen, but I was so anxious to get it that I didn't regret buying it for $10,000.
What? $10,000? Surely you get Thanos' actual gauntlet for that money. You like the actual, you could snap and half the people would disappear. Infinity Gauntlet Poppet. Show me what we got. Pop culture with an A? That's not a poppet. No, I need a poppet. No, and not a Funko Pop. A poppet. You telling me it doesn't exist? There it is. Found it. $10,000 though.
In the end, I spent $100,000 on fidget toys. My parents were shocked when
My parents were shocked. Not because of the choice, but because apparently they had a daughter with $100,000. What kind of kid at school has $100,000?
huge packages showed up on our doorstep. When they looked inside, they almost fainted.
Yeah, but it's fair enough, right? Like, it's only like 10 Infinity Gauntlets, so...
All they saw were ridiculous multicolored toys. I ran around the boxes excitedly. I was on cloud 9. But my parents weren't happy.
Yeah, what's the deal? How does it translate to better? Were they all different, or did you just buy like a million of the same thing but different colors? That doesn't feel right. That's not satisfying. You know, if you're gonna have spinners, they gotta be different spinners. They gotta all feel different. You know, I got this one, but I've also got other ones. Because sometimes you want like the heavy thonk of like one with some weight behind it, but sometimes you want something real small or something that's real light, and you know, you want your options available to you. I understand. Why not? Sign me up. Where'd you buy them from?
Of course, I spent $100,000
I think this is made up. No, that doesn't seem right.
bucks on junk. They scolded me, although most of the money was mine. I saved it for years for something important, but I ended up wasting it on such a stupid little thing.
How old are you? You're in school. You can't be older than like 17, right? Talking like $6,000 a year from birth. How are you saving up $6,000? Is like, you just got 100,000. Buy a house. What are you doing buying? You spent all of that on fidget toys? Put a down payment. What do you do for work?
But at that moment, I thought that this would be the thing that saved me from the stress that was keeping me from living my life. It was only later that I realized that I shouldn't have gotten so excited. I spent entire days playing.
I thought about it for a little bit and then I went, maybe I made a mistake there. Buying the $100,000 worth of fidget toys. Maybe that wasn't a fantastic idea. Wasn't she a farmer? Oh, that's right. She works on the farm. So she had saved up $100,000 by working on the farm. Let's be real here. She wasn't working since she was 0. So like, she would have started working, I don't know how old farmers make their children work. She could have started working like maybe 12. Parents paying her like 20 grand a year.
With toys. I even blew off my schoolwork and my chores around the farm. I couldn't stop playing with them.
Oh, well, how are you going to afford buying more?
Even a bad grade on a literature test couldn't tear me away. Something else finally got my attention. My mother got sick. She overworked herself so much out in the fields that she ended up developing a high fever. She couldn't get out of bed because her joints and back ached so badly.
So, what's about is going to be like, and she needs medical treatment, and the medical treatment is $100,000, but my family doesn't have the money. Don't tell me that's where this goes.
Of course, I couldn't leave my father to work the farm alone, so I had to stop poking my simple dimple and spend my days digging in the ground and looking after the cattle. The only place I could relax a
Which is just as satisfying, arguably.
little was school. I carried my fidget toys with me there. My classmates started to take an interest in my toys because I started making posts with them on Instagram and TikTok. Many of the other kids had never even touched a poppet before and thought it was a waste of money.
Like me, I am an unbeliever. But maybe if I just watched enough TikToks, I would be convinced.
She should have saved the money to buy lemon carton merch. How dare she waste it on simple dimple pop it.
You're right, and you can get it down in the description below. It looks like that. It's got a cute little lemon carton on it. Way more satisfying. Also not as addictive. It's short, but you're not gonna accidentally find yourself spending $100,000 on it. That's for sure, which is a good thing. That's a reason to go for it, as opposed to something that might. Anyway.
How much the toys helped me with my schoolwork. So a bunch of kids borrowed poppets from me for a couple of classes and were delighted with them, and I got my first customers.
Rent them out. Don't sell them, rent them out. $2 a day. Easy.
I thought I could make good money, so I sold a couple of them for not $5, but for as much as $20.
Dang.
Yes, I earned 4 times more than I spent on them. But I didn't plan to sell anymore since I really liked them. But then things changed, and I had to. Almost all of our livestock fell ill with some kind of rare infectious disease, and
so all that money that you spent on fidget toys, justifiably, but still, now you got to get rid of them all because you got to fund your mom's treatment.
in a matter of days, they died. Plus, our fields were still in bad shape because my parents hadn't managed to completely get rid of the pests. We were going to be short on money because our income from the farm was going to be so low that season.
If poppets aren't being banned, the sale of poppets absolutely has to be banned. Like, the teachers are already some of the laxest teachers I've ever heard of that aren't banning this poppet action. But then to take it that step further and to allow actual trading of goods for cash. Nah, there's no way. There's no way that would be allowed.
If I had known how bad everything would get, I would never have spent such an astronomical amount on fidget toys. It would be better if I helped my parents, and so we needed to start saving however we could.
Yeah, I mean, just like, the off chance that your mum gets sick and then all your cows do too and all that, that's not the only situation I foresee where maybe it would have been a better idea to not spend $100,000 on fidget toys. I think there's a few more circumstances where maybe it wasn't the best idea, like any circumstance.
The situation was seriously frightening because I was not used to saving up. I usually just bought myself what I wanted. I really didn't want my parents to suffer and have to worry about money, so I decided to part with all my fidget toys to help the family.
How did you move that many goods?
The next day, I brought a huge box of toys to school, and before that,
Set
I
up
put
shop?
up a post and story on Instagram so that my classmates would get interested and buy them from me.
Hey guys.
Fidget toy sale at 2 p.m. in the classroom tomorrow.
Fidget toy check. It's the poppets for me. I'm so there. I will be there. How much? $5 a piece.
And it worked. They bought 2 or even 3 poppets from me for as much as $20 each. I was
jeez.
even approached by kids from other classes. Only
Other schools. Kids from like all kinds of places showing up. Some of the teachers being like, how much?
Girl spends $100,000 on fidget toys, regrets after everyone dies.
Exactly. Regrets it after all her cows die.
our director didn't like the fact that I was selling something at school. He considered
Here we
it
go.
unacceptable and asked me to take the box away and stop doing it. I didn't argue with him and decided to organize.
No. This is where you let him in with a bit of the cut. You give him 20%. He's gonna look the other way when you offer the 20%. You tell him how much stock you've got and the markup. Woo!
Is a point of sale elsewhere. I picked a park in the center of town. Not only children and teenagers
seem
came
right.
up to me, but even serious adults. One man offered $100 for a poppet shaped like a duckling that came in an exclusive dark color scheme.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't believe that for a second.
Overall, business was doing great. But then after a couple of days, no one else came up to me. Do you know why? Because I had already managed to provide toys for almost everybody, and
You mean market saturation? Everybody has one already, so they're not going to need any more, which doesn't make any sense. I thought they were like the most addictive things in the world. I thought once you have one, you cannot stop. You will not stop until you have what, $100,000 worth.
in our small town. Everywhere, I saw people with simple dimples, poppets, sticky glow.
What is the difference between a simple dimple and a poppet? I feel like a boomer. Poppet versus simple dimple challenge. Shroom. Now they won't let us actually watch it. They claim us, but we can go through in like little zero captions or something. Eardrums. Oh, and an AC remote. It also has satisfying something. Nah. Oh, they're all like different size. Is that the simple dimple or is that McDonald's is my favorite stress reliever? Simple dipper wins again. No, surely that's simple dimple. I still don't know what the difference is. Is that the puppet or the simple dimple? No, it's painting though. I think it's backwards. I think it's horizontal flipped though. Why are you using a hair straightener on you? Your owner is too far away to help you. Let's see you melt from fear. I don't know how the stream trooper go. Anyway, back to the channel that doesn't copyright claim me.
Glowing balls and even fidget spinners, which had been out of style for ages. The problem was that
Out
I
of
hadn't
style?
even sold half of what I bought.
I'm so unfashionable. Now, you know what the real trend is now these days? Your little those little flippy knives. PewDiePie decided to make everyone a switchblade expert. Surely that's the new thing. Pretty sure Sevi's got one. I swear he's got one.
Which made things extra complicated. The money I earned went to my mother for medicine so that she could get back on her feet faster. Now I was thinking about how I could make a lot of money fast. Then I decided to
Clearly you already know how to make a lot of money fast. You made $100,000 and you're still at school. The real way to make the money fast is to get your cows better. I gotta say, for a farm that earns so much money, they seem to have a lot of pest and like animal issues. you would think you'd be a little bit more on top of that. You know, if you're that big a farm, I feel like you'd kind of know what the deal is with the pests and the animals and the diseases and stuff. Wouldn't you be like testing them all the time?
To part with my favorite and rarest toy,
No, not the Infinity Gauntlet. Not the $10,000 Poppet Infinity Gauntlet.
poppet shaped like Thanos' hand. I decided to do a small auction on Instagram and start at a price of $10,000.
What? Why? You bought it for $10,000. I understand the ones that you bought for like $5 and you're selling them for 20. That kind of makes sense because they're like, I could buy it online for 5, or I could get it today and spend 20. But someone spending that kind of money, they're not going to be like, yeah, I guess I'll get the secondhand one for 10,000 or more when you can buy it brand new.
No one wanted to take this unique poppet even for the starting price.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there you go. I could have told you that. I did tell you that.
Many of the people in our town didn't earn enough money to spend that much on something trivial, so I had to gradually reduce the price. Thanos' hand sold for just $1,000. I was ready to cry.
That's a significant loss. That's what we call in the biz a bad business move.
With frustration when I gave it away. At the end of it all, I looked at the boxes overflowing with toys. They didn't make me happy and relaxed anymore. They just made me mad. Even the sound of a poppet started to annoy me. At school, all my classmates played with them.
You're trying to do your work.
But I didn't know where I could go to get away from the sight or sound. Then I decided to sell toys through my account, but at a reduced price. If on an ordinary online store they cost $5, then I sold them for only $3. There was no benefit, but there was no other choice. My family's
Got to get rid of your stock of $100,000 worth of Fidget toys. Look, I understand. We've all been there.
position and my mother's health are much more important. Even though I was able to sort that out, I still had some other problems. My grades were even worse with poppets than they were before. I was constantly distracted by them.
Not the poppet grades. That was the ultimate meta.
I couldn't focus on questions or assignments. I had to do extra homework and write a bunch of extra essays to bring up.
She needs to move on to new fidgets now, but she only have 50k now to spend.
She's got to find the new craze. That's what I'm saying. She's got to get on those fake switchblades.
My grades. However, everyone else was unhappy that their grades weren't getting any better.
You sold us dud goods. The only reason I bought this is because you said your grades got better. It doesn't work.
I promised them that the fidget toys would help, but they apparently didn't realize that it's not enough to just poke at the bumps in class and not do anything else at the same time. The toys hurt them even more. Because of this, they started demanding their money back.
This is a bad ad for poppets. I was already not convinced, and now I'm very not convinced. Poppets seem like not a good time.
I didn't take the bait, though. Then they decided to take revenge on me. When I opened my school locker, all the toys I sold them spilled out, only they were soaked in something smelly and sticky.
What? Now they're taking revenge on you? The puppets didn't get us good grades.
I couldn't wash off the horrible smell right away, and I had to wash my clothes several times.
Jeez.
And that's how fidget toys left me without money, without friends, and with bad grades.
Oh, okay. So this is not one of them like happily ever after stories. This is truly a modern day tragedy.
Moreover, my business failed. Things couldn't get much worse, but at some point they did start to get better. Mom was finally able to recover, but my father and I still did not let her back into the fields for a long time. With the money we earned from selling the toys, we bought several chickens, as
But 3 chickens,
well
a
as
cow.
cows and goats. It did still take a long time to get rid of the pests in the field completely, though. I was able to sell almost all the fidget toys, leaving only a couple of them for myself. Sometimes after a hard day,
Sometimes when I'm just sitting there and I think no one's looking, yeah, I gave the puppet a little squish.
but it isn't as fun or relaxing as it used to be. I realize that it's better to play with them in moderation, otherwise I get bored pretty quickly and then it'll actually start to annoy me.
There we go. That is the Dar Man takeaway quote. Play with your fidget toys in moderation, kids. That's the takeaway. Follow me on Twitch. We do film these live and get some of the sweet aforementioned lemon carton merch. It's down in the description below. And I will see you, fidgeters, next time.